Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Jacob Teacher YouTube channel. Welcome to the last live lesson that I will be giving from Korea. As many of you know, I have been living in Korea for quite a while now. I've been here for 2 years, and on Monday, I am returning back to Canada. So it's quite a hectic time, quite a sad time right now, too. I've had to say goodbye to many people this week, and I will continue saying goodbye to many more people until I leave on Monday. But we're going to have a fun lesson today. This is going to be a little bit of a different lesson. I'm going to need everyone who's watching to join me as editors today. Okay, so there's going to be lots of opportunities for participation, and I'm excited about this lesson. So, like I said, I've been teaching in Korea for 2 years. I've taught mainly at elementary schools. And this last school that I'd been teaching at for 1 year, the grade six really loved me as a teacher, particularly a group of grade six girls. And when they found out that I was leaving, that I was returning to Canada, they put together a nice little scrapbook for me here. So they wrote me some letters, and what we're going to do today, I thought it would be fun to correct their writing. They write beautifully in English, but they're only in grade six, so they're still learning. And yeah, I thought it would be fun and cute to correct their writing. But anyways, I'll show you this quickly right now. It's a beautiful scrapbook, as you can see. Jacob Teacher. By the way, the reason that I called myself Jacob Teacher Online is because that's what they call me here in Korea. In Korean, they would say Jacob Sam, which means teacher. Jacob Teacher. So naturally, they translate it to English as Jacob Teacher. Anyways, you can see this scrapbook here. Very cute. And I hope you can read this well. I prepared a gift for you because you are, not I am, going to Canada. And they wrote me some very cute letters. I was trying to take pictures before so that we could look at them as they're written. But the pictures didn't really turn out well. So instead what I did was I typed up what they wrote, and we're going to look at their writing and edit it, and I think it will be fun. So let me just see who's in the chat room right now. Diego is here. Hey, GoFriend says, "Oh, this is so emotional." It is quite emotional. I'm a very emotional person. I don't really do well with periods of change. Right? I shouldn't say I don't do well, but they're very much a struggle for me. So I'm feeling quite emotional right now. Christine says it's a very nice book and colorful. And yes, just wait till you see the writing. It's quite adorable. So let me just switch screens here. And please, lots of participation tonight too. If you're watching the replay, you can leave a comment after too. But here is what they wrote. These are grade 6 girls from my class. So this is the first letter that we will look at. Hello, Jacob. By the way, that little mark, that's like a smiley face in Korea. So, hello, Jacob. I am so sad that Jacob returns to Canada. I'll never forget the time I spent with Mr. Jacob. Please remember us when you go to Canada. If I get a chance, I'd like to see you again later. Actually, I had a crush on Jacob for a year. I love you. And for those of you who don't know, if you have a crush on someone, it means that you're kind of secretly, romantically interested in that person. So this little grade 6 girl had a crush on me for a year. Very cute. Now, I wanted to ask you, she says, I am so sad that Jacob returns to Canada. And this sounds a little bit awkward. So how could you phrase this sentence in a more natural way? keep in mind, throughout this lesson, I'm going to ask you questions like this one. And there really is an infinite number of ways to answer the question, okay? You could rephrase this in a number of different ways. So feel free to use different words to play around with the word order. Rephrase the sentence however you like. Try and be creative here. That's the key. And I should say, too, that the letter is written to me. So she's writing to me. And she says, I am so sad that Jacob. Now, in English, that sounds a little awkward, right? You would normally say, I am so sad that you. But in Korean, Koreans don't typically use personal pronouns like we do in English. It's more common in Korean to refer to someone by their name. So rather than saying you or he or she, more often in Korean, you'll hear someone use that person's name. So that's why she's saying, I'm so sad that Jacob, instead of I'm so sad that you. But anyways, let me know how you could rephrase this in, well, try and correct this sentence, be an editor. Ivan says, will I be an English teacher in Canada? Well, what I'm going to try and do in Canada is to turn this online teaching thing that I'm doing into an actual career. So that's what my plan is going back to Canada. By the way, I'm opening up an English club that will begin shortly after I return to Canada, and the way to join the wait list for my club. The club is coming soon. It's not quite ready yet, but there is a wait list that's open if you're interested. Just go to my website, jacobteacher.com/English Club, and the sign up form for the wait list is there. Okay, so we have some sentences here. Christine says, I'm very sad because you will come back to Canada. So Christine, great, except I'm very sad because you will go back to Canada. Okay, I'm very sad because you will go back to Canada. Gofran says, I am sad that you are going back to Canada. Perfect, right, that's a great way to phrase it. I am so sad that you're returning to Canada. Perfect, and yes, Taemin, you could include that if you want. You could leave that out as well. It's okay either way. I'm so sad that you are returning to Canada. You'd say, I'm sad that you are leaving us. I'm sad that you are leaving Korea. I'm sad that you are leaving Korea to go back to Canada. So again, there are a number of different ways that we could phrase this, but let's keep going. You're doing really well here. Thank you for the participation. Let's read the next letter. So this is from someone else. Dear Jacob, hi Jacob. I was very sad when I heard that you were leaving. I've been so fun for a year with you. Take care of yourself in Canada. I am writing a letter to translator because I'm not good in English. Even if the grammar is wrong, please understand. Thanks. Goodbye. Okay, so let's look at this sentence. I've been so fun for a year with you. I've been so fun for a year with you. What do you think she's trying to say here, and how would you correct this sentence? Let me know in the comment section. And I have to say, I was quite impressed with all of these girls when I read their letters. Their English is quite good. A lot of them were quite shy in class too, so it was nice to see them express themselves in writing like this. So I was very emotional to receive these letters, and I will keep them with me forever. But how would you correct that sentence? Let me know. I've been so fun for a year with you. Again, there are many different ways that you can rephrase this, an infinite number of ways. It was so fun to be with you for a year. Great, says Gofran. Or it was so enjoyable to be with you for a year. Both of those work. That's really great. You could also say, I've had so much fun with you over the past year. I've had so much fun with you this past year. It's been so fun having you as my teacher for 1 year. This past year has been so fun with you as my teacher. Again, there are an infinite number of ways, so really, be creative here. I've had such a fun time with you for a year. Yep, great, Taman says. I've had such a fun time with you for a year. Really good. You're all great editors. Keep up the good work. Last year, I had a lot of fun with you. Great, Christine. Good sentence. Way to go. So this is good practice for all of you when you're writing goodbye letters to your English teachers as well. Let's keep going. I am writing a letter to translator. Now, initially, when I read this, what I thought she meant was that she was going to give the letter she was writing to me to a translator first, so that he or she could translate her writing. But I was reading it again today, and it's not clear if she means what I just described, or if she might be talking about writing a new letter that she will give to a translator. In any case, whatever it is, how could you correct this sentence? What is something that you could say? I'll give you some examples. I'm having this letter translated. I'm having this letter translated. I'm giving this letter to a translator to translate. I'm having this letter translated by a translator. Again, there are many things you can say. No right answers here, or an infinite number of potentially right answers, I should say. And Diego says, I've been having a good time with you for a year. Great, I've been having a good time with you for a year. I have been having a good time with you for a year. Okay, that works. And tell me what you think about this translator sentence. Is a translator a person? Correct. Yes, a translator is someone who translates works. There are translators online too, right? So there are online translators that are softwares that translate. I handed my letter to a translator. You'd need a there. I handed my letter to a translator to help me write correctly. Great. Even more natural, I gave my letter to a translator to help me write correctly. Nice work, Christine and GoFriend. Thank you for the question. You guys are all doing really well tonight, or wherever. Tonight for me, it's 8:13 p.m. here in Korea. I'm using the Google Translator to write this letter. Maybe that's what she did. She would have probably used Naver Translate. Naver is like the Google over here. Most Koreans use Naver, and they also have a translator that, in my opinion, from my experience, it's actually better than Google Translate in terms of English to Korean translations, which would make sense. Okay. And you could say, Taman, we would say I'm using Google Translate. Google Translate is the name of the program or software or whatever. I'm using Google Translate to write this letter. I used a translator to write you. Nicely done, GoFriend. I asked the translator to help me write this letter. You could say the translator means a specific person, the translator. So you probably want to say, I asked a translator to help me write this letter. It's 1 o'clock in Egypt right now, says Christine. Well, good afternoon to you, Christine, in Egypt. Very cool. Let's keep going. Last one. Even if the grammar is wrong, please understand. So how could you phrase this in a different way? Again, no right answers here, or an infinite number of potentially right answers. Feel free to change the wording. Feel free to play with the language however you want. Be creative. Crazy Mom and Twins is joining us. Good morning from Brazil. Very cool. I will be returning to, closer to your time zone on Monday. I believe, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I guess it depends on where you are in Brazil, but I think Calgary is maybe a few hours ahead of Brazil, but quite close. So I will be doing these live lessons in the morning. That means in Canada, which is good because I'm a morning person, anyways. I'd prefer to do these lessons in the morning rather than at night, like I have been doing in Korea. If you're a morning person, by the way, it means that you feel like you are at your best, like you can perform best in the morning. And some people are morning people, some people are night people. So night owls, you would say. It's 8:15 now. All right, so we're 12 hours apart from Brazil right now. Hoping you understand me, and if I wrote something wrong, forgive me. Perfect, Christine. And say, I hope you understand me, and if I wrote something wrong, forgive me. Great. That's the word I was thinking about too, is hope. I hope you understand me, even if my grammar is wrong. Tiara says, even though my grammar sucks, but I hope you understand what I'm going to say. You could say, even though my grammar sucks, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. That would be more natural there. GoFriend says, sorry for the grammar mistakes. Okay. Taman says, even though my grammar is not perfect, please bear with me. Great sentence there, Taman. I really like that. Perfectly written. Okay, let's keep going. Now, this last one is going to really challenge you because I'm going to ask you to rewrite a paragraph. So I have one more letter that we're going to look at today. Oh, here we go. And I want you to try and rewrite this paragraph. I want you to try and take what this girl wrote and condense it into a single paragraph. She repeats herself quite a bit here. So feel free to omit some things that she says. Feel free to add some things if you want. Twist the paragraph around however you want and try and put 3, 4, or 5 sentences together to rewrite this paragraph. So let's read it first. Dear Jacob teacher, I am sad to you return to Canada, but I'm okay, don't worry. That's my favorite part of this letter, I think. But I'm okay, don't worry. And thank you. Don't forget me. You taught me how to study English. Thank you very much. Be careful when you go back. I will study English hard in the future, and I will be smart and go to Canada. Goodbye, but we'll meet again. Take care of yourself, because I have a little bit of English. Goodbye. Very sweet letter. I love this one. So, why don't you take a little bit of time and try and rewrite this whole paragraph. I wrote a version of this myself. We can look at my version after on the next slide, but I'll wait for you to write your own version. While I'm waiting too, I thought this could be a nice cultural lesson. So I have a shot glass here. For my last live lesson on this YouTube channel, I have a bottle of soju here. So this is what Koreans drink. This is the most popular alcoholic drink in Korea. And it's made from rice, wheat, and barley. And you see people drinking these in Korea everywhere at any time of day. It's incredibly popular. So I have a bottle here. I'm going to fill up a little drink to say goodbye to all of you before I sign off. And cheers, everyone. Thank you to everyone who has supported me over the last however long I've been doing this now. Thank you to everyone who's new here. Thank you for the continued support. Really, I've really enjoyed doing these weekly live lessons here, and I will see you all again from another part of the world, and we'll keep this going. So, cheers. In Korean, you say gambae, gambae. It kind of tastes like if you've ever had vodka, it tastes like a weaker vodka, like a watered down vodka. But it's quite nice. Some people really hate it. It's quite nice to me, I should say. Cheers, says Crazy Mom and Twins. Okay. GoFriend is saying, copy and paste the letter. Help us. So take some time, really. It's okay. Take some time, think about it. You don't have to write it. You don't have to write a whole big paragraph. If you can give me 3 or 4 sentences, try and condense this into a paragraph. And take your time. It took me a while too, because there are a lot of different ways that you could play around with this paragraph. A lot of different ways that you could rewrite this. But what I'm going to do right now, well, I'll wait a little bit longer because it did take me a while too. So take your time. Maybe if you want to get my advice on a few sentences, you can just post a couple of sentences or even one. Post whatever you want, really. It doesn't really matter. But if you're watching the replay, also feel free to take part in this exercise, of course. And why don't we just look at how I rewrote this so that you can see. Okay, so here is my version of this paragraph. Dear Jacob, teacher, I'm sad that you are returning to Canada. But don't worry, I'm okay. Thank you very much for teaching me how to study English. Be careful when you go back, and don't forget me. I will study English hard in the future, and I will be smart and go to Canada. We'll meet again because I know a little bit of English. Take care of yourself. Goodbye. So that was my version. And let me go back because I realized you were probably watching or you probably needed the text before. In other words, she said, I love you, says Diego. Yes, they all wrote that they loved me very much. All of their letters have I love you written on it. I have the letter over here. One sec. This one was actually printed on a nice big paper like this. So she says, I love you, or love, I guess. And these are some nice seaweed snacks that she gave me. And a nice big heart over here, too, and some Korean writing. So very cute. I will always remember them and all of my students. And let me go back. There are a few things I wanted to say about this paragraph before I leave you today. So I'm sad that you are returning to Canada, but don't worry. I'm okay. Now, this thing that I'm using here, it's called an em dash, those two little lines together. It's actually supposed to be one line. But that's called an em dash, and you can use it in many different ways. It's a very cool punctuation mark. You can use it in many different ways. You can use it in place of a comma sometimes. You can use it in place of parentheses, so brackets. You can also use it in place of a colon. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm using it in place of a colon. It felt appropriate. But again, with punctuation, you can play around with it in order to change the meaning of a sentence and to highlight certain parts of a sentence. That's what I was trying to do here. I'm still not quite sure about the last sentence. We'll meet again because I know a little bit of English. It doesn't seem like a cause and effect thing there, but whatever. It's very cute nonetheless. Okay, we have some paragraphs here. Christine says, "Dear Jacob, thank you for your time that you spending with us in Korea. I'm very sad to hear that you are going to Canada. Wishing you all the best in Canada. Hoping you remember me. Don't forget to communicate with me on social media. I learned a lot from you. I promise you I will study hard. I will make you proud of me. Keep in touch. It's not goodbye." Well, that's very precious, Christine. I like how you wrote that. Let me try and correct a little bit of that. Dear Jacob, thank you for your time. Thank you for the time you spent with us in Korea. That would be a natural way to phrase that. I'm very sad to hear that you are going to Canada. I wish you all the best in Canada. I hope you remember me. Don't forget to communicate with me on social media. I learned a lot from you. I promise you I will study hard. I will make you proud of me. Keep in touch. It's not goodbye. Very nicely done. I like that a lot, Christine. Great work. So everyone, that is all the time that I have for you today. I've got to go meet some more friends and, I don't know, get my life in order here before I leave. So thank you all again so much for watching me. Let me just switch screens here and say a final goodbye. GoFriend says, "The girls remembered me of the time when I was attracted to the teacher in college." So you were attracted to the teacher in college, GoFriend, I imagine, like many students are. Anyways, thank you all so much, everyone. There won't be a live lesson on this channel for a while. I'm going to take at least a week break, probably more, as I think about what I want to do on this YouTube channel. So I won't be live on this YouTube channel for a while. I will post about everything on Facebook though, so make sure to follow me on Facebook if you aren't already. And if you enjoyed this video, it would really help if you gave a thumbs up. That's all, everyone. Cheers from Korea. I will see you again on the other side of the world. Take care, everybody, and come back.